Okay, so Maul Shadowlord, the all-new Star Wars series centering around Darth Maul during the rise of the Empire, just released its final episode on Disney+, and I'm not gonna lie, it really surprised me. Star Wars is my favorite franchise of all time, but it's no secret that recently the franchise has been a real mixed bag. In the span of just a few years, we've gotten Andor, arguably the best live-action Star Wars ever, and then these piles of mediocre slop. A lot of these recent shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka read more like poorly written fan fiction than actual Star Wars releases. The writing in these newer series is often childish, surface level, and at times nonsensical, even if they do have their moments. And those moments are mostly just Disney pulling on our nostalgia strings and making us go, oh my god, I know that character from a thing. You're from a thing. So, when they announced that a Darth Maul show was going to be happening, my initial reaction was, No, wait. Darth Maul is my favorite Star Wars character of all time. The fact that George Lucas and Dave Filoni took what was an afterthought of a character and turned him into, in my opinion, the most interesting, compelling, and tragically written character in all of Star Wars is nothing short of a masterclass in storytelling. And Sam Witwer is a fucking legend and probably my favorite voice actor and celebrity of all time. He might be my celebrity crush at this point. I'm straight, but for him, fucking yeah, we'll give it a go. He seems so down to earth and deeply passionate about Star Wars, and his work as Maul is exceptional. So why did I not want a Maul show? Well, because I felt as though there was nothing else to say with his character. His story across the Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, and Rebels is basically perfect from start to finish, and I didn't want them to tarnish that and milk his character for the sake of it without a meaningful story to tell. Thankfully though, I am so relieved to say that my concerns were not needed. This show fucking slaps. But before we get into that, did you know that only 10% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed? How rude, right? How fucking dare you? Listen, I don't want to be annoying, but if you could just scroll down and hit subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I spend hours on these videos, and a simple subscription goes a long way in telling me that you guys want more content. So, here are several reasons why I shouldn't have been as concerned about the Maul show. Number one, the Lucasfilm animation team are fucking awesome. The Clone Wars and the Bad Batch are some of my favorite Star Wars projects in recent years. I haven't actually seen any of the Tales series yet, but I'm sure they're good too. Number two, the time period. A show that explores what Maul was up to during the rise of the Empire as an ex-Padawan of Sidious, you know, someone who was originally a pawn in this game and thrown aside, is a really interesting concept to explore. And number three, Sam Witwer was the fucking GOAT. I love him and he could do no wrong. Now, the show has a lot of genuinely great characters that I want to talk about, but it's only right to start with Maul himself, and holy shit, they managed to make him even better! I didn't think that was possible, but here we are. Maul Shadowlord teaches you a lot about Maul's philosophy, his take on the Jedi, the Empire, all of it. And I love that this show doesn't try to rewrite the narrative and frame Maul as a good guy since it's his show. Maul is still a pretty fucking bad guy who murders people in the name of vengeance, but the show does a great job at humanizing him, even using flashback scenes which shows us exactly how Maul was taken by Palpatine and their early training. He was taken at such a young age and raised to be a murderer, nothing more and nothing less. He was gaslit into truly believing that he was being elevated through Palpatine's training, yet he was just another pawn in his game. Palpatine threw him aside like garbage in pursuit of his bigger plans, so it makes perfect sense that Maul is trying to seize power for himself in a time where Palpatine's empire is everywhere you look. Similar to how his hatred for Obi-Wan was the only thing that kept him alive for 20 years, his hatred and resentment for Palpatine is what's driving him here. Everything he does is to put himself on top of his own empire and then overthrow the man who left him with nothing, even seeking an apprentice of his own, in an attempt to train someone better than how Palpatine trained him. Now, when writing this out, I got to thinking, hang on, isn't this kind of just his arc in the Clone Wars? Forming an empire of some sorts to eventually overthrow Sidious, taking on an apprentice, but I think what sets Maul Shadowlord apart is that it takes place during the time of the Empire. Palpatine has already won. He's succeeded. The Empire is everywhere. And since we know Maul's fate in Rebels, it makes us sympathize with him even more since we know his attempts are futile. He's just a man who has been trained to know nothing but vengeance, and no matter how many times he falls, it is always what he resorts to. It is his comfort blanket. Genuinely such a beautifully tragic character character. I'm so happy that the show treated him well and added to his arc. Next up, I want to talk about Devon. Now, as soon as she's introduced, you immediately get the idea that, oh cool, she's going to become Maul's Padawan. And because of that, a lot of her arc with Maul is relatively predictable, but I do like that Maul doesn't completely transform her from a fully fledged Jedi to a Sith in 10 episodes. When the show starts, Devon is already straying a little from her master's teachings. Being a fugitive constantly on the run is doing a number on her. Maul sees these cracks in Devon and begins chipping away, starting to etch his philosophies into her psyche. It's a gradual and nuanced process that does make their arc enjoyable to watch, even if it is, again, a little bit predictable. She's a cool character, the voice actor absolutely nails it, and I'm so excited to see her again in season 2. Also, fuck yeah, we get season 2 of this thing, let's go! Darky is an absolute legend, a true Jedi if there ever was one, and although I knew that his death was inevitable, it was still very sad. Especially because it was unceremonious. It happened so fast, and he didn't even get to say goodbye to his Padawan or offer any last words of advice. It's cool to have a list of characters in this show that go from pure Jedi, morally ambiguous Jedi, neutral, ex-Sith, pure Sith. As Sam Witwer said, it's a show about bad guys and worse guys, and I think the cast illustrates that really well. Also, Darky in particular has a really cool design, like definitely one of my favorite Star Wars alien designs we've seen in a long time. And building on that, this is by far the best Star Wars animation has ever looked. It might even be the best that Star Wars has looked in several years. It's the same old Clone Wars art style that we know and love, but refined and with a more sharp aesthetic, which Sam Witwer says is because this is how Maul sees the galaxy. Rough around the edges, a bit more harsh. It's a really cool way to give this show its own unique visual identity, and I really respect it. Some of the other characters include Lawson. He's a police detective who's actually surprisingly compelling. He lets the situation with Maul and the Jedi escalate so much because he hates the Empire and doesn't want them to get involved, but by becoming so invested in this case, he accidentally gets his son involved and his life becomes endangered too. His relationship with Riley is fine. It's a very standard and surface level father-son dynamic, like, ugh, Dad, why don't you spend time with me anymore? My work needs me, kid. The city needs me. But it's still solid, and also Captain Lawson's voice is very sexy, and to be honest, it turned me on at times. Two Boots is a fun, lovable droid. I am a huge sucker for loyal droids with British accents. His moral dilemma, again, isn't the most layered thing in the world, but I'm still grateful that they gave him an arc in the first place. I feel like a lot of shows would have just skipped that with a character like him. He and Lawson have a fun dynamic, and it's touching that he bypasses his programming and by-the-books nature out of his love for Lawson and Riley. So I don't really understand how droids' emotions work. You know, I never really got that. Maybe I never will. Marok and Crow, our resident inquisitors for this show, are so fucking cool, which is shocking because they picked the two worst ones. Crow gets soloed by Ahsoka in 2 seconds in Tales of the Jedi, and Marok is awful in Ahsoka. But they somehow both get made super cool here. Their designs are top-notch, and the animation given to their action is unreal, and oh yeah, the action scenes here, by the way, fucking A+. I couldn't believe what I was watching at times. The chase scenes and blaster fights were great, but the lightsaber duels? The one in episode 9 is my personal favorite, but even Maul's first duel with Devon and Darky and his duel with the Inquisitors in episode 7, it's all just so well executed with animation quality so good that you have to pause and wonder how they pulled it off. Fair play to the entire Lucasfilm animation team. You have come leaps and bounds since this scene in Clone Wars Season 1, which, to be honest, still kind of gives me nightmares. Some other side characters I really enjoyed were Rook. She has a cool personality and an even better design, and Spybot, my goat. I was so sad when he died. It was probably the saddest character death of the show for me, which I think speaks to just how funny he is. David Collins does so well, and just as Sam Witwer said, if you were to ask what a Darth Maul droid would be like, well, Spybot is the perfect answer. He's just a jerk. But ladies and gentlemen, I've of course been avoiding the elephant in the room this whole time. Oh, get over here! I wouldn't blame you if you clicked off. The finale of the show finally gives us a fight decades in the making. Maul versus Darth Vader. Vader in the Maul finale is nothing short of perfect. He doesn't even utter a single word, and yet this is the most intimidating that we have seen Vader since that iconic hallway scene 10 years ago. Holy shit, Rogue One is 10 years ago. I cannot be that old. He has literally never looked better in animation. He is intimidating as fuck and honestly functions like a horror movie villain, which is my favorite interpretation of Vader. Jedi Fallen Order does a similar thing that made 13-year-old me genuinely terrified of him, and I think that it really works. Also, I want to praise the show for making Vader's power seem so believable. and I'll explain what I mean. When Darth Vader was first introduced, almost 50 fucking years ago, cinema was very different. His armor meant that he had reduced mobility, and every lightsaber duel was very slow and less intense than the lightsaber choreography that we see now. But what Maul Shadow Lord does exceptionally well is make Darth Vader seem like an absolute combat powerhouse whilst remaining faithful to his original movement style. His swings are heavy yet fluid too, and it's believable that he would be able to absolutely dog walk Maul and Darky. I don't know, it's probably quite a nerdy thing to notice, but I just think it's awesome. I'm so glad they found a way to make this matchup happen without breaking canon, because fuck me, it was so cool. The finale as a whole was great, by the way. Devon finally unleashes her rage, which was cool to see. Maul letting Darky die makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of mad at myself for not seeing it coming, but fucking hell, Maul, that was just fucked up, man. I'm very interested to see what Devon's dynamic with Maul will be going forward. Lawson supposedly dies, but we didn't see it, meaning he's probably fine. Although in Star Wars, even if you do see them die, they're also probably fine. Oh yeah, we also get a little Crimson Dawn setup too. Okay. To be honest, Solo was one of the most meh movies ever to me. I don't really care about that, or Dryden Voss, or any of the characters associated with that film, but oh well, nice to have some continuity, I guess. And I like that the last couple episodes of Maul Shadow Lord actually had the guts to kill like half their main cast. There were some real stakes with this season. I mean, obviously we know that Maul dies, but Devon, Riley, we don't know how their stories end. In my last video, I was criticizing Stranger Things Tales of 85 for being a bad prequel because they didn't introduce any new characters or stakes that were interesting enough to make engaging television, meaning that there was zero tension throughout the entire thing. But here, in Maul Shadow Lord, there was a lot of tension. And I don't just mean a sexual tension between me and Lawson. Anyway, yeah, this show is pretty fucking great, which gives me so much joy to say, especially considering how worried I was for this thing. Sam Witwer, I should have never doubted you. Your passion and commitment to this franchise is second to none, and the whole team behind Maul Shadow Lord clearly cared about the fans, and as someone whose favorite character is Maul, thank you for not turning this into another slopfest. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe. Again, it would help me out so much. Lots of new content is on the way. I'll see you all very soon.